Have you ever felt completely in control and then suddenly you weren't? Yeah, I have. I know that feeling well because I've spent a lot of time on stage. Now, I usually have a mic in my hand, there's a band behind me, and I'm getting ready to sing a few songs. I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control. Yeah, I love singing, but I don't love losing control. And I don't love that moment when I'm on stage singing, and out of nowhere, I start to sweat, and my heart races, and then all those negative thoughts, they fill my brain. Julia, you're gonna fail, you're gonna forget the lyrics, you're losing control again. And that's when I go blank. That's when I freeze, and that's when I forget the lyrics. And what happens after that moment? Well, it's never really what I had wanted. One particular time, I was invited to sing at a Remembrance Day event. And you can picture the scene, the speeches, the solemn faces, and next to me, Ron, a war veteran. And as I was singing, that familiar feeling started to creep up on me. And I froze, and I forgot the lyrics. And do you know what I did at that moment? I passed the mic to Ron, the war veteran, and I let him sing the rest of the song. I mean, what was I thinking? This was definitely not my plan. I'm pretty sure that my singing career would have taken a completely different path if I had learned long ago how to control my emotions under pressure. Now, I think we've all been there, and maybe you can think of a moment right now. Maybe you were performing like I was, maybe you were talking in front of an audience, maybe you were lining up for that crucial putt to break 80. Or in our everyday lives when we're asked questions and we have to answer them under pressure. Or in a fast-paced work environment where we have to make decisions quickly, like traders. 1 minute, they're in the zone, they're following their plan, and then boom, it's like their brain had been hijacked. Should I stay or should I go? Yeah. Well, the problem is not forgetting the lyrics, missing that putt, or making the wrong trade. Yes, they can be costly, but those are the outcomes. The real problem is recognizing that there is a shift. Because if you don't realize that it happens, then you will continue reacting the same way, and it becomes a pattern, and then you get stuck in that emotional loop. Now, the brain is complex, but it's easy to remember and understand one thing. This really changed my thinking. Our brain's #1 job is to detect threat, to protect us. Our brain's #1 job is to make sure that we stay alive and kicking. Oh, sorry. Okay, last one. I couldn't help it. But our brain wants to ensure our survival. And that goes back to prehistoric times. We wouldn't be here today if we didn't have that survival instinct. Now, back then, it was life or death. But when I was singing on stage, I wasn't worried for my life. I was worried about the threat to my emotional well-being. I was worried about being criticized. I was worried about being judged. I was worried about feeling embarrassed. And oh my, if they figured out that I was an imposter. These social and psychological threats, they exist in all of our minds. Now, where do they come from? Well, there's no one standing in front of us with a sign that says, "You're not gonna make it. You're not good enough." No, it comes from our internal dialogue, our thoughts. There's so much going on in our brains at all times. Even now, when I'm talking to you, and you're listening to me, the thoughts in your conscious mind, the thoughts in your subconscious mind, there's so much going on. and we pay so little attention to it. And we pay so little attention to the pressures that we put on ourselves to be perfect, the pressure to succeed, and the expectations that we put on ourselves to never make a mistake. Well, no wonder our emotions run wild. No wonder we shift into that survival mode, because our emotional brain has taken control. Our thinking brain has been pushed aside, and our decisions, well, they become instinctive and impulsive. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I stay in control of my emotions? Well, we can't eliminate stress, but what we can do is control the way we react to them. And that control grows the more you understand how the brain works. Now, in my journey with neuroscience, I've built some new habits, and they've reshaped the way I think, the way I make decisions, and the way I react. So I'd like to share some of these new habits that I've built. The first one is recognizing that shift. At catching the shift and recognizing what's happening in our body. Because when I was standing on stage with the microphone, my body was sounding the alarms. I was sweating and my heart was racing. Those were the signals. And so that is the moment. If we can catch the shift, we can pause. The second habit is thinking about thinking and challenging our automatic thoughts. It's so important that we think about our thoughts. And guess what? We don't have to believe every thought that we think. We have automatic thoughts and we have deliberate thoughts. When I was standing next to Ron, the war veteran, those automatic thoughts, well, they weren't just of that moment. They were based on fear from memories of the past and the anticipation of the future. But we can deliberately challenge those thoughts. Julia, you are good enough. You've trained for this. You've got this. Julia, you've got this. So thinking about thinking, challenging our automatic thoughts. By doing that, we can interrupt the loop. The third habit is calming our nervous system. That's called the physiological sigh. It's a double inhale in and a long exhale out. Yeah, try it with me. It's a breathing technique to calm our nervous system. So as you're inhaling, you can sneak in a second little one at the top, and then you exhale with your mouth. It's simple. It takes seconds, and it's incredibly powerful. And on top of that, it's science. Intentional breathing is underappreciated. Now, I've incorporated these habits into my life, and I really hope that you do as well. Because they've worked for me, and actually they're part of the reason why I'm here today. So I'd like to end with this. What are you going to do now? Do you want to be the same person tomorrow that you were yesterday? Because you have a choice. You can stay in that emotional loop, or you can make the firm decision to interrupt it. And only you can do it. No one can do it for you. So I really hope that I've inspired you to think about thinking. And I really hope that you pick your song, you pick your path, you pick your direction, and you sing your song to the end. But whatever you do, don't pass the mic to Ron. Thank you.